welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. And our top story today, the Government Accountability Office looks into the Federal Thrift Savings Plan transition. Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton. She represents Washington, D.C. Congresswoman Norton, thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
My pleasure.
We're talking this morning about the Federal Thrift Savings Plan, and that is, for the audience's benefit, that's almost like the equivalent of a 401k, but for federal employees as well as uniformed military personnel. Before we get into some of the challenges and things that you and your office have uncovered and heard from constituents, how important is this plan to your constituents?
Well, this is the savings plan for my constituents for when they retire. So it is of utmost importance to them. That's why they are so concerned with the problems they're having with the new online system.
Yeah, and let's delve into that for a couple of minutes, if we may. You mentioned this is very important. This is the primary retirement plan for many of your constituents, some of whom are already retired and withdrawing funds. What are the types of concerns that you've seen raised?
Well, the concerns have been all over the map. They're really quite outrageous concerns. Taxes, for example, being erroneously taken from accounts, incorrect beneficiary information, the inability to access their retirement savings. It's been across the board problems.
Yeah, and obviously, if you can't access your information, if you have erroneous information, not only is it hard to make investment decisions, but it also creates some level of doubt. And I know in following the story, you've had some good conversations with the trustees and the administrators of the plan. Anything that you can share in terms of those conversations after expressing your concerns?
Certainly so. I've asked for weekly updates, and I've gone even further. I have asked the GAO to do a comprehensive review of the thrift savings plan so that we can get to the bottom of these issues.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that in the second half of the program. But in terms of the, you've asked for, weekly updates from the administration. Have things been moving and progressing so that the call volumes have gone down, that maybe the calls to your office and your offices are going down as well?
I don't have, Congress is out of session, so I don't have information on whether things have been improving. I'll be getting these weekly updates shortly.
Congresswoman Norton, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing your perspective. When we come back, we'll take a look back at a previous interview I did with Federal Thrift Savings Plan spokesperson Kim Weaver about the changes. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you stuck with a low credit score? A credit report and score that's causing you to be denied credit or pay higher interest rates than others for the same things? Then do what Terrence did and call Credit Repaired for your free credit evaluation to help restore your credit.
I started thinking about buying a new house, and my score wasn't where I needed it to be. I called and spoke with one of the representatives, and we just had a good conversation, and I liked what he was saying.
Just one call for his free credit evaluation was all it took to start back on the track to repairing his credit.
I'm seeing the deletions and I'm getting the report, so I know something's being done. It does make a difference to me.
All it takes is one call to get started.
Credit Repair has given me a second chance to have a better credit score.
Don't let a low credit score hold you back another day. Do what Terrence did and make the call for your free credit evaluation.
Call 800-819-4152. That's 800-819-4152. Again, 800-819-4152.
Welcome back. Earlier this year, I interviewed spokesperson Kim Weaver about the planned TSP changes. Let's take a look.
So we awarded a new record-keeping contract, and Converge is what we have named that effort, where we are moving to a integrated system. Right now, we serve as the integrators for the call service, or call centers, the forms processing, the actual record keeping. We are combining all of that, and we are hoping to go live. We will be going live in the summer of 2022 with that new record keeper. And in doing so, it'll bring some new services and flexibilities to our participants that will be an upgrade from what they have right now. There are, as you just said, many moving parts, and the fundamentals, of course, are starting with security, right? We're dealing with the personal information for 6.5 million participants. So we start with a secure system, and then you start working up to making sure that the record keeping system is able to keep track of all the data, and then all the permutations, the loans and the hardship withdrawals and the regular withdrawals, and all of the different things that defined contribution participants can do. We want to make sure they can do and do flawlessly. When we awarded the contract, we deliberately set out an 18 to 24 month transition process, because we wanted to make sure we didn't want to rush it and end up with mistakes. That would not serve anybody. But as you said, it is certainly not me. There are numbers and numbers of people at our agency who are working diligently to make sure all the different pieces fit together and that everything is moving forward, in alignment. So you don't have one thing ready and the others not. And one of the big things we've been working on over the past couple months, we get data feeds from about 110 different agencies providing us with the payroll and money and all the indicative data for the participants. And we want to make sure that we have those agreements with those agencies and the security agreements set up with those agencies so we can be testing, because if we do all of our work perfectly, it doesn't do anybody any good if we're not able to get in the information about the participants and the money they're contributing. So when we go live on day one, the first one thing that's going to be available that people have been asking for is a TSP app. So you will be able to have your phone, and if, like, I have an iPhone, if you use the biometrics to get into, your bank app, for example, you'll be able to do that for your TSP app. And that's just a huge convenience for people. Most people live on their phones anymore. And so that's, I think, a huge step forward. We're also going to be having an option for a mutual fund window that will allow TSP participants to take a portion of their money through and invest in mutual funds that are offered on that platform. And we're going to also be able to offer people sort of an end-to-end tracking's the wrong word. If you start something online and then you want to call the call center, instead of having to repeat everything to that call service representative, they'll be able to see what you were doing. And that saves you time and frustration in moving whatever issue you have along. I think those three things will be really very helpful to our participants.
And that wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more, all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content? Well, visit our website and, of course, our streaming partners. We're back again tomorrow for another edition of BRN AM. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.